Hi guys, welcome. Welcome to Sewing News Live. I am Angela Wolf, and this is a show sponsored by Brother Sews, which I am a brand ambassador for. And today I have a very special guest for you, another brand ambassador for Brother, Joanne Banko. So you're not going to want to miss today. So do me a favor before I bring Joanne on, pop in, say hi. I can see you all rolling in already. Just let everyone know where you're from, say hi so we can see your name, and just give me a little heart emoji and let me know that you can hear me. So if there's any technical issues, I can always fix it first, right? All right, I see you all rolling in. Wonderful. Okay, so by the way, I cannot believe it's December. Someone just asked me, how do you have your Christmas shopping done? Do you have anything ready for New Year's Eve? Oh my gosh, that's less than a month away. This is crazy. So this whole month, I have a lot of fun things planned for you. But today, I thought a great thing to launch off with is Joanne, because she's so creative. You've heard her talk about her favorite sewing machine feat. You've probably seen her on It's So Easy TV with myself. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to sewing. And so I see you all. Yep, you can all hear Jude in the house. You guys are great. So let's see. We got Jude, we got Pam, Cindy. Hello. Hi, Cindy. Nancy. By the way, thank you guys for so many gifts this whole week. I'm still getting more. In fact, I have one right here from Joanne that she'll see when she pops in here, which is so cool. Janet, I just got your mail. It's like the mail is every day a fun day. So, all right, without further ado, let's bring on Joanne here. Hey, Joanne. Oh, I have you muted. Hold on one sec. Hey, Joanne.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. So for those of you that don't know, this is Joanne Banko. She has letsgosew.com. You probably get her newsletter. She's on Facebook. It's So Easy TV. She wrote a great book. Is there anything else I'm missing there, except for the fact that you are a brand ambassador for Brother? And yeah, I think that covers a lot of it at least. But not only that, ever since I met you, you and I hit it off years ago. But the thing is, you are so knowledgeable about certain things in sewing. And so I think that the audience today is going to be just absolutely thrilled to have you on here. So you guys bring in your questions, because if you haven't noticed the last few Sewing News Live, who pops in to answer your questions? It's usually Joanne. She's watching along. So I thought, what better than to bring her live?
Make sure you tag me so I can catch up on some of that later.
Excellent. And you have Reen popping in here saying hi. Jan, Tammy, a whole bunch of people are in here. Hi from Texas. So Joanne, to get started, do me a favor and tell us a little bit about, let me get that up there for you so you can see you. How did you get started sewing?
Well, I love this story because it's just so cool. I never sewed until I was in junior high, and I can literally remember my very first stitch. I remember bringing up that bobbin thread and being so excited. I thought it was so cool, and I literally just went crazy. So my mom and I used to always go school shopping, like every normal family does. And after I had sewn for a year in junior high, she made a suggestion. She said, okay, this year we can either go shopping and buy school clothes, or I'll buy you a sewing machine. It'll be your very own. We just had an old, single stitch, straight stitch machine in the house. And she said, it'll be your very own. You'll keep it in your bedroom. We'll go shopping for fabric. However, there's one condition here: no turning back. So if I get the machine and I get the fabric, I don't get to go shopping. I don't get clothes. So I jumped into it, and the rest is history. I made all my own clothes that year, and pretty much throughout junior high and high school made a lot of my own clothes, and went to fashion school after high school, and had my own little sewing business for a while, and then eventually got into teaching and working at a sewing machine dealership, and then working with Brother. So
that's awesome.
It's been cool.
For those of you that have never met Joanne, you know that we're big into fashion sewing, and Joanne fits right into that mode with us. And the other thing is, how after you, this is an odd question. So some people might think, well, that's crazy. But I remember one year, and I'm comparing it to what you said, so I just want to see what your feedback is on that. When I got out of college, and I didn't go for fashion design, I went for business and engineering. Ended up with business because college was boring. I would have loved to be at fashion design school. But anyways, I told myself I'm going to make everything I wear from now till forever, because I wanted to show off my clothes. when you said that you made your clothes for one whole year, did you have any period of time where all of a sudden you couldn't buy anything, but then you're running out of clothes because you needed more clothes? Did you, I mean, you still make a lot of your clothes. Do you make all of your clothes now, or did you get over that? Like, I had to get over it because I would just be naked, which would not be a good thing.
You learn to pick and choose, you know, famous last words. Yeah, I'm going to make everything I wear, but reality sets in. And so for me, you know, I make so many things for blogging and for brother samples and all that kind of thing, that when I get to sew something that I'm going to actually wear, it's, you know, a little bit more rare. So I make things that I really love the process of making, and I know I'm going to also love wearing it. You know, when I buy ready-made, I don't feel guilty, because if I don't love it and I don't care, you know, to wear it for a season or two, I just go, okay, it doesn't, my heart's not attached to it, but the clothes that I make, my heart's attached to. So I'm a little picky. I
completely agree. So what is your favorite thing to make? When it relates to that, if you're going to sew on things that what's your favorite project, or what's your favorite, I mean, that's really a broad term, because I could say favorite fabric, favorite what, I mean, the list could go on.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite project to sew? Would it be a jacket, jeans, like something, what is it?
I think I really love making wraps. I'm sure you're going to, you know, touch on that a little bit. Anything that I can wear over something else. I like jackets. There's always a lot of room for embellishment on a jacket. So.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Joanne has a fabulous book out, and all of its wraps. I actually used it for quite a while. I remember one thing I was stuck on. I was trying to embroider on silk. And I called my friend June Mellinger, and I said, June, I need help with this. And she said, don't you have Joanne's book? I do. It's a wealth of information. Let me bring that up here. So will you tell us a little bit about how you wrote that book, or when you wrote it, or what was you were inspired by that?
Sure. Well, I've been writing for a magazine, Designs and Machine Embroidery, for quite some time. And they approached me with, you know, a book, wanted to know if I wanted to put in a book proposal. And I had in my mind at that time doing something that was wearable, kind of one size fits all, and could be embellished with embroidery, but, you know, kind of like a garment, but not really anything that anyone had to fit or be fussy about. I think so many embroiderers get into embroidery, and they do t-shirts and towels and sweatshirts, and then, you know, they're maybe a little afraid to kind of jump into garments because it's a little more tedious work. So I wanted to make things that were simple. So I did the pashminas and the different wraps, and I actually had all the embroidery designs digitized so that they would coordinate with the fabrics, because that's another real issue with a lot of garment embroidery. You know that, you've done a lot of it yourself. You have to kind of be careful how you, what you pair together with what different fabrics. So.
You know, you really do. And the other thing is, as we've talked about on the show before, is stabilizer. Stabilizer makes such a huge difference on what you, and when you're trying to use these better fabrics and things like that, it can be really tricky.
And my idea with the wraps was to stabilize as little as possible. So again, I coordinated the fabrics, the designs, and the actual style of each wrap for everything to work together. So they all drape very nicely. And then another technique that I really wanted to wrap into that, no pun intended, was having all of the embroidery hidden on the back side. So I used different lining techniques, and you know, everything kind of just coordinates so that everything looks pretty. If the wrap does blow open, you know, if it's a scarf like the pashminas, it looks just as pretty on the wrong side as it does on the right side. So that was my goal.
So here's one. This is one of my favorites on here. I love the photography in here too. But this was just a simple design. But what you did on this was beautiful. Is this a pashmina?
This is actually, that is rayon batik. And that one is all constructed from scratch. In the book, all of the pieces that are not an actual pashmina, I have measurements. So you just draw out the measurements on a piece of pattern tracing cloth. And in effect, you're making your own pattern. So simple rectangles are very, very simple patterns. And that's just a rectangle with a slit, basically. It also allows you to wear it a lot of different ways. And you can use some of your fancy pins and, you know, do different things with it. So that's rayon batik.
This one, okay, so this one I had to bring up because this
Yeah.
one looks so rich. I love the colors. What would be a tip for this one? This is definitely an elegant evening pashmina, to say the least.
That one is embroidered on silk du peony. And if you were going to ask me what one of my favorite fabrics are, that's certainly one of my favorite fabrics. But I like to, most of the time, stick with neutral colors, things that aren't, not the jewel tones, because I like to wash my silk du peony. So in the book, I actually have a bonus recipe for how I handle silk du peony. I'll give you just a little tip. I wash it in baby shampoo, and then while it's still soaking wet, I iron it until it's dry. And you get a little bit of wrinkles in it, but that kind of adds to the character, and it softens it up really, really nice. And then I put a very lightweight bias fusible interfacing on the back. And then when I do the embroidery, all I need is a tearaway stabilizer. And again, that keeps it really, really soft when all the tearaway is gone. So.
What a great tip. I can see a couple people asking where to get your book. I'll put a link up here, but it's at letsgosew.com. Is that correct?
That is correct. They can also buy it from their dealer. Their dealer should be able to order it as well if they want to purchase it from their dealer. So.
Okay, so you have a few questions rolling in just about that. And this is one thing that we weren't going to mention, but you're more than welcome to, or we can move on. But a couple people are asking, and you are the pro at this. In fact, Valerie, it's funny that you're asking this question because whenever I have this question, I go to Joanne for this. I can't even think of how many times you gave me this tutorial. But she wants to know if you could give any tips on continuous embroidery. Yes. You are definitely the queen of that.
Well, that was the other goal of the book, was to teach how to do connected or continuous embroidery. Some of the designs have some space between them, but others are linked very close together. So I present 3 methods in the book that anybody can use on any machine, as long as you have a 5x7 hoop. So you can pick one of those 3 ways to do it. But there's, so many more tools and techniques that we have with our brother machines. And quite frankly, when I wrote the book, I was using at the time a Brother Quattro, but I made it into a dummy machine, which what I mean by that is I didn't use any of the extra toots and whistles. I really stitched everything as if it didn't have a snowman camera, didn't have, all that capability, so that I could test it out to be used on a wide variety of machines. But if you watch the It's So Easy TV show and you check on some of those, you'll see me do some different linking. And I have some tutorials for that on my website as well. There's a lot of different ways to do it, really and truly. Very simple ways to use templates and line everything up with careful measurements. So, but the book does detail that.
And I'll put your website up here in a minute, but It's So Easy TV is what she mentioned. If you have not seen the show, you can watch reruns on YouTube. You're going to be able to watch some on her YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, It's So Easy YouTube channel, Brother Sew's YouTube channel. It even live streams on Amazon, live streaming. It's on PBS. It's on Create TV. It is everywhere now.
Everywhere, yeah.
Which is fantastic. So I'm bringing one more thing up here from your book. And I love this. Let me just get this off of here for a second. This is so rich. So could you just talk a little bit about this? I don't want to go through everything on the book because y'all have to go get her book if you'd like to. Because it's like a library that you'll want forever. But here is, if you could just talk through this one, because this is very unique.
Well, I've already said, a few things, but another thing I wanted to do in the book was present a few really simple embellishment ideas, so that you could add to the embroidery and kind of color coordinate it. One of my favorite things to do is to use ribbon and color coordinate it with the embroidery design. It just ties the whole scheme together, and it's really the hallmark of high quality ready to wear, which isn't that what a lot of us are after when we're sewing from scratch.
Absolutely. So, that's why we're sewing. So we have like an awesome looking outfit that's very creative.
So what I did with this one is I created all the embroidery just on one panel. I spaced it evenly, but it's all done on one panel of silk du peony again. And then I took like 7mm silk ribbon, and I used a braiding foot and stitched that on just by zigzagging over it, so that all the, it blocks it off and makes it almost look like it's pieced or patchwork. So which is
perfect, because I think we're going to be talking about that foot. But before I go there, I see a couple questions about this, and I think you just answered this, but just to confirm. Lynn wants to know, if you don't have a brother machine, is that the only thing that your book will work for? I believe you have every format, don't you?
It's multi-format CD-ROM. There are, I think, 16 designs, and they all, you have to have a 5x7 hoop.
5x7 hoop, guys. That's not too hard to handle. Can a beginner?
Some of the designs are 4x4, but in order to utilize all of them, you need the 5x7. So,
okay. Can a beginner, let's see. Can a beginner to embroidery use this book effectively? That's a good question. She's never embroidered before, but she wants to learn.
It's a great question, and I just got this question recently from one of my people on my email list, and I would say you would definitely gain something from it, but obviously, when you have a machine, the first thing to do, if you have a dealer, go to your dealer and get some hands-on owner lessons, but it doesn't really tell you, a lot about basic operation. So if you know how to use your embroidery machine, yeah, definitely you could jump in with this and make something from the book.
I would agree as well. For my experience, I was a very beginner when I met Joanne, and between her book and then chatting with her and watching her It's So Easy TV has helped me to expand my embroidery. And sometimes I break the rules a little bit, but usually it started because you gave me a little bit of a tip to go somewhere first. So I would agree that her book, but you need to learn how to use your machine. If that, the book doesn't help for it. But once you know how to embroider, regardless if it's a $200 machine or a $20,000 machine, the book gives you the techniques for different fabrics and great projects. So this, by the way, for holiday gifts, this is why I thought I have to have you on here in December. I hope, well, Joanne, when you clean out your closet, I'll do the same for you. But I love the pashmina. So, okay, before we're going to talk about some different feet now, and I'm not going to share too many more photos from your book because I wanted to leave the suspense out there. But Barbara wants to know for a tip, speaking of holiday gifts, do you have any tips for embroidering on towels? And she's asking, would you use tear away? Would you use pre-wash, the towels, wash away, stabilizer? There's so many, everybody has a different philosophy about this. So let's get your view on this.
Okay, well, first of all, let me tell you that because we've talked about the It's So Easy TV show, but their online show, I believe the one coming up on this Friday, I'm doing embroidery on terry cloth. It's actually a baby wrap, but very, very similar. So if you get, we'll probably talk more about that in a few minutes, but if you get a chance to watch the online It's So Easy TV show, you'll see some tips there. When I do embroidery on towels, first of all, I'm very picky about the actual towel that I select. And again, I always compare this to ready to wear. If you went shopping right now and you went and looked at like really nice quality towels, if they have embroidery on them, chances are the embroidery is going to be done in an applique style. So the embroidery is going to be done on top of fabric. And that's because the towels are very plush. If you use something with a little lower nap, then you can use a wash away on top, the water soluble. And then I usually just hoop the towel with a medium weight tearaway. I use the Brother medium weight tearaway because it's called medium weight, but it's actually a little lighter. It's a little bit lighter, and so it hoops really, really easily. And I hoop the two together, and when I'm done, I tear off the tearaway and wash off the wash away, and I'm good to go.
Love that.
Towels are pretty stable in and of themselves, so they don't really need a lot of extra on the back.
I'm just going to bring up, just before we go on to feet here, a lot of people want to see, oops, wrong button. A lot of people want to see your blog, so I'm just going to bring that up here. So you'll be able to find Joanne's blog in a few different places. She has a blog, and she also blogs for Brother. So let me just bring this up solo. Here's if you go to letsgosew.com, and let me just bring that comment down. Arnell was coming in. She wanted to see that. Leslie says she just realized that she has your book. That's even better.
Oh, cool. Ooh,
and a lot are saying that they love it so easy. And they love you. Here you go. Here's the book. So here's the book. If you go to her website, first off, you do a blog every Sunday. I look forward to it every Sunday. You can sign up on her website for this. Is that correct, Joanne?
Yep, you sure can. There's a link right up top.
There's the It's So Easy TV online blog that she writes as well. So she gives kind of a heads up of what's coming up, what's going on, you know, for each episode, which that's hard to keep track of, by the way. I can't even keep track of all that. So I actually go to your blog to figure that out.
Well, I preview the show and then I add some additional tidbits in there. So a lot of different resources.
Which is great. There's Emily Thompson. She's actually coming on the show next week, which will be fun, or in 2 weeks from now. And then your book. Here you go, guys. Here is her book. You can see the photos here. You can order the book here, or you can go to a dealer. Oh, you make it very easy. That makes it pretty easy, Joanne. Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's talk about a couple things here. You have a couple favorite feet, and I'm bringing one up here on the screen. Could you tell everyone? So you guys, you can keep rolling your questions in, no problem. We'll go back and answer later. But Joanne has, how long have you been doing this? The foot of, it's almost like, I call it the foot of the month, basically.
Yeah,
because it is almost
foot of the month. Yeah, I've been doing foot of the month for Brother since December 2010. So
can all of these, can they go back and see these?
Yeah, they're archived on the brothersews.com site. Now they've changed, you know, they just put up a new website recently. So you gotta find the right link for that, but you can look up the different projects from foot of the month and then also free design of the month. So for a long time, I did those basically as a ghostwriter. And, you know, they're published on the Brother site, but without my name attached. And then when we started doing the Stitching Social blog, then everything is posted there as well now. So those you can find just with a, you know, with a regular search. So
what is this one of your favorites, I believe?
That is the braiding foot. And that's the one I said I've used. I used a couple times in the book for trims, but I've used this foot a ton. I mean, just a ton. The picture that you have up is the napkin from last month's Foot of the Month project. And, you know, it's all about the little things when we sew. And if the little jobs go easy, the big jobs get easier too. And little things like stitching trim and keeping it straight and keeping it even can really be a challenge. But the braiding foot has a slot, and you can adjust that slot for narrower or wider braid or flat ribbon, and make it just, you know, really snug in there. And then when you're stitching, it's just a matter of just flowing right along the fabric, and it keeps it nice and smooth and straight. So that's just, you know, inexpensive gold ribbon, 1/4 inch wide, put right through that braiding foot and zigzagged on, or couching stitch. Sometimes I'll use a couching stitch. So
which do you prefer, a zigzag or a couching stitch?
It depends on the ribbon. Sometimes I'll use a zigzag because I don't want it to actually pierce the ribbon or pierce the trim. But sometimes you want it to flatten it down a little bit. So the stitch that I used for that was an actual couching stitch. And that's all in the instructions on the Brother Stitching Social blog. And it even shows the picture of the stitch. So it just travels a little bit differently.
So you all know blog.brothersews.com is where you'll find this. I love that napkin. So this is from the set of It's So Easy. How cute is that?
Yep, that is such a great gift set. So if anybody's thinking about making gifts, that's archived on the It's So Easy TV site, so you can download the instructions for that. And I use the braiding foot to attach a gold rat tail cord to the organza bag, and the organza bag just functions as a little gift bag to hold those beautiful little coasters. Those are all made in the hoop, and that can all be done using built-in designs.
Thanks for mine, by the way.
Yeah, I love making coasters. It's something everybody can use. You can personalize them. You can make them casual. You can make them elegant. That one's made out of vinyl. That just, you know, really works for a nice surface for hot or cold. So
Joanne knows that I always have big cups, so I
made yours
a big coaster with a big cup.
Yours is giant size.
All right, let's see what else do we have on here. I got some more photos that I want to just go through. So this is on the set of It's So Easy. Look at those cute outfits in the back. It looks like you're embellishing with embroidery here.
Yep, I sure am. That show was a really good one, and I believe that one's on YouTube. I'll double check that, and we can add that into as a link. But that one was a really good overview of machine embroidery. So if you're a beginner, that one would be a great one to take a look at. If you're even a little bit more advanced, I bet you'll learn some things. I covered a lot of techniques in that. And the It's So Easy TV shows, you can buy the DVDs as well, so you can have the set for the whole season and watch them at your leisure.
At Christmas, we might have to do a giveaway this right before Christmas for the new season coming up. But they are great because you can go back. I always watch my episodes, but then I want to see other people's episodes. And so the DVD, you can watch the entire thing. And if there's something you're not interested, you can fast forward. And if there's something you want to watch again, you just go back.
Hey, sometimes I watch mine because I forget what I did. And I'm like, I thought I had a good idea there. I better go see what I did.
Well, we also put a blog up or a PDF file with It's So Easy. I'm a little bit behind on mine for this season, but usually you can go there if there's a project to download things like that. And you're so funny you say that. I have to go back sometimes and think, I don't even remember doing that episode. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else do we have up on here, Joanne? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, so you guys, we will put links to these shows with the numbers. Both of us will do it on our blog in the next couple of days, so you'll be able to go back and find these. If you're watching this on YouTube on Saturday, these will already be up on the blog, so you can check Joanne's or myself. So I'm going to go to the brother blog here because you have a project of the month, and we've been talking about this. Let's see if I can just, I know it's right here, unless I accidentally, there we go. Okay, bring this up. There we go. All right, so you do a project of the month, and we were talking about this. You came on a couple weeks ago just via the phone, but every month you have a project that comes with a free embroidery design. And a lot of people said they'd never heard of this. So could you give us a little bit tell us about this?
Yep, every month Brother gives away a free embroidery design. That is available on the Stitching Social blog. Also, you can link to it from the Brother site.
Oops, wrong page. Sorry, here we go. So this is the free design embroidery gift tag with pocket. Is that the one for this month?
That's correct. Just came out on over the weekend. So with this one, sometimes what I'll do is I'll create some additional designs to coordinate with the free design download. And the free design is actually, you can also get to it from the Embroidery site. And then in this case, what I did is I made a little gift tag with a pocket and used the free embroidery design that Brother provided to just accent it. And so there are bonus designs then. You can click right on the links. The links are built right into the Stitching Social blog. So the Brother blog, everything is all right there for you. And
I love that part. Because if you're ever on here, for you guys, if you come on to blog.brothersews.com, there's links to everything. Well, your photos are fantastic too, by the way. But there's links so you don't have to, if you're trying to figure out what supplies are being used, things like that, you don't have to go searching everywhere. This is so cute.
So it's fun. I like to come up. I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm a mix. I'm either doing something that's like taking me forever to sew because it's really detailed, or I'm doing something really, really quick. And we need a little bit of both. This time of year, obviously, it's great to, literally whip something up in a morning or an afternoon and carry it to somebody's party that night. So,
well, and that's the big thing is during the holidays. Well, it seems like it's all year now, but you really need something quick. Like if you're going to a party, what a great little thing to do to have a gift bag, or what you showed earlier with that gift bag, a pashmina for your girlfriends, and something like this. I mean, this is such a great way to just show that you put a little effort into, not that shopping's not an effort. It is for a lot of us, but, but this just adds a personal touch that's so cool.
Well, when we sew, a lot of us, we sew for love. I mean, some people, sew to make money and that's cool too. But a lot of us, we sew for love. We make things to give away, and we get as much joy out of that as we do sometimes for making something for ourselves. So, there are a lot of people out there that can't make anything, and that makes what we do really special for someone.
This is so cool. You sent me a card a long time ago. You probably don't remember because you're always so giving, so you might not remember this specific situation. But I think my grandmother had passed, and I still have your card. Well, I don't think. I know she did. I have your card hanging in my new office now because it was like just beautiful. I mean, it was embroidered. It had a personal touch. So you're the best, Joanne. Thank you for that.
I like making greeting cards. I really do. I like putting things in the mail because I know people like getting things in the mail, and it's always something special.
Do you have any tips for embroidering on paper?
Actually, yeah. I usually don't embroider on paper, believe it or not. I embroider instead on stiff felt. I actually have a tutorial for that as well. But I embroider on craft felt, and then I zigzag that onto cardstock or a blank card. And it's just, it hides again. I'm all about hiding the ugly, you know, all that stuff. You know, we have a lot of us have the benefit of that wonderful, fabulous feature in our Brother machines where it cuts the jump threads, and we love that feature. But it does create all those little tails on the back from,
yes, it does.
You know, from where it clipped. So you really don't want to clean those up because that's, you know, that's all part of tying it off on the back. So instead of that, I just find a way to hide it. So by, you know, doing it on the felt and then putting it onto the cardstock, I just set my machine for a zigzag stitch. I pull out an old needle that I know I've used already for, you know, some other type of sewing, and it's not good for sewing on fabric anymore. And I just set it for a narrow zigzag. I usually use white felt, and I buy white cards, and I have a whole stash of them. And then I zigzag around it and put it in an envelope. The coolest thing about that is the method that I use doesn't even require any extra postage. So
really?
Yeah, it doesn't come out too thick. So now if you go outside the box and use something different or start adding trims on there, it might make it different. But the ones I use, the whole way that I do it, it just regular forever stamp, and you're good to go.
Okay, so if you guys didn't hear that, I'm repeating it to my sister. My sister, it was so funny. She sent me a card last year, and you know, I've lived here forever. So the postman leaves a note. You owe, I think it was $2 for postage or something like that. And so I called her and I said, you know, it's no big deal, but if you're going to send me a card, maybe make sure that I don't have to pay for it. She was mortified. I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but this is great news that we can mail this and not have most of the time extra postage. All right. So a few people, before I roam into some more pictures you have here and talk about one of your other favorite feet.
Yeah.
Robin says, Robin wants to know if we can have a new Facebook show, Angela Wolf and Joanne fan. Sure, aww, no problem.
We could go on for hours. We can have a marathon.
That is fantastic. Barbara says she loves it. There's a lot of people on here that are so excited. You know, the reason that we started the show was because there's so many resources out there that I think a lot of people don't even realize are there. And so this is somewhat of a podcast, even though we're live. So if you're just watching, a lot of people watch while they're driving. Well, they don't watch, they listen. And so you can go back, and these are such good resources. So, all right, we'll go back to some more questions here in a minute. But, oh, by the way, Reen says that those little tags you had would make great hangers for the Christmas.
Yes. Tell her I planned it that way.
That's awesome. You planned it that way. And Judy Romano says hello. I don't know if you remember her from Virginia.
Yes, I do.
She was fantastic. We saw her I saw her recently, but we were down there together quite a few years ago. Okay. Robin is on here. There's a ton of comments on here. We'll go back and read these. But all right, so I'm bringing this picture up. This is you on the It's So Easy set. This is one of my favorite things to do. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, Joanne, you got to talk about this. This is amazing. So why don't you fill everyone in? I don't want to spoil it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I am the Brother digital dual feed Muvit foot is one of, in my opinion, one of the best inventions in the entire sewing world in the last like century. It is just, it's an amazing foot. It comes with a lot of, you can use it with a lot of, quite a few different Brother machines. It is packed with the Luminaire, and it was packed with the Dream machine. And there I'm actually using a couching accessory. And it enables you to just feed yarn or something, really, it has to be soft, but and a little bit narrow, but right through a foot that attaches to the Muvit foot, the digital dual feed foot. And then you're couching that onto a surface. So the foot itself, I don't know if you have a picture of the foot by itself.
Here, well, you guys can see the foot here. It's plugged into the machine.
Yeah.
I'm using my mouse to kind of circle around that. Here's her finished product, which was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, what fabric is that jacket?
It's faux suede. That is from our friends at Shannon Fabrics, and they make a great faux suede. There I'm using the Muvit foot for patchwork. The patchwork's actually been sewn, and then I'm doing the quilting through the top layer and a layer of batting. The foot itself is just so multi-purpose.
There we go. There's
if you look at it, you'll see it's got a plug. So that plugs into the machine, and what makes that so unique is that foot actually has a motor inside of it. That motor is digitally controlled. So when you have the opportunity to use that foot, again, for certain brother models, you will have a settings key on your machine that you can go into. And you can set that foot so that the speed of it's got like a belt roller, and that's how it works. A lot of people say it's like a walking foot, but it's really just a whole different ball game. But in the way of it moving the top fabric is a little bit similar to a walking foot, that it helps ease it in. But the beauty of the digital dual feed foot is that you can change the setting. So you can have that belt move slower or faster by changing the setting in the setting keys. And I kind of compare it, this is just my idea of the way it works. I'm not an engineer, but it's a little bit like differential feed operation on the serger, where
that's a good way. That's a real good way to describe it.
When you set it so that it moves a little bit slower, it stretches the fabric out a little bit. When you set it so it moves a little faster, it eases it in. And you know what? It works really great at a 0 setting as well. But having the ability to go a little slower or a little faster is very, very, very helpful when you have fabrics that are a little bit more tricky to manage. Or you're sewing two things together like satin and velvet, or suede.
I'm going to look. I think I have mine right here.
The other great thing about it is the foot, once it's plugged into the machine, the machine will then tell you what stitches you can use. So, you know, with a walking foot, you're limited to a straight stitch or a zigzag. With this foot, because it's belt driven, you can actually use a wide variety of decorative stitches. So on that patchwork sample that you had up a minute ago, I was actually using a feather stitch to quilt through the layers with that.
Then there are on this one.
No, that one I just used the couching.
That's the couching.
That one I'm actually using a feather stitch. So that's something that, you know, when you have stitches that have backward and forward and side to side motion, they don't coordinate well with a walking foot, because a walking foot is meant to go straight forward. Those teeth grab the fabric and go straight forward.
Right.
And, you know, so there's that one doesn't take the place of another. They're used in different circumstances. But with the Muvit foot, you can use a wide variety of stitches that go forward and backward and side to side. The beauty of it is that once you plug it in the machine will tell you whether or not you've selected a stitch that you can use, and it won't let you choose the wrong stitch. So I love that part. I love that for all kinds of things like the twin needle and stuff. But here's that belt that she's talking about on the bottom that's a little different. And the other thing is there's a knob on the side that goes up and down. So this is plugged into your machine, and you can be sewing away, and then you say you don't want to use it for a minute, you can just lift this up and it just deactivates everything that you just set, which makes it so easy to not have to keep taking the foot on and off. I love that part. And the feet just pop off like that, and you can put on new feet or whatever you have going on. But here's you can see that right there. And then you go into the machine and change the settings. And there are a ton of snap-on feet. For quilters, there's a 1/4 inch foot, there's an open toe foot, there's a stitch in the ditch foot. I mean, there's
a stitch in the ditch foot?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's just really, like I said, it is just one of the most incredible inventions that Brother came up with for their machines that it just blows me away. I love using that foot.
Love that one. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down for a sec. There's quite a few people making comments. Do you have time for a few questions and comments, Joanne?
Absolutely. That's my favorite thing to do is help.
Robin Hill says that she has free Christmas giveaways. So Robin, just leave your website. You could put that on there if you would like. Let's see. We've got Florida. Chris says, you are so talented, Joanne. I agree.
Thank you, Chris.
This one. Does moisture hurt your oh, that's a good question. Does moisture hurt the coasters? Oh, well, the faux leather ones? Like these?
That's vinyl, so anything. I mean, you wouldn't. It's not a trivet, so you're not going to put a hot pot on it. But you know, and if it gets wet, it's polyester thread, and it's just synthetic vinyl, so you'll be fine on that. If you take a look at the one that I did for the It's So Easy TV show, where I made it out of fabric, I have a little tip on that where I use shelf liner as an insert. And you buy the one that's like a little bit thicker, and it's kind of like a foam, and you can insert that in the middle, and then that'll keep the moisture from going through to your table or whatever. That's
a good question. Carrie Cunningham is on here. She says hi. She loves your ideas.
Thank you, Carrie.
You guys know each other. Liz says that this looks more like a mouse pad. Actually, Liz, I think it could be that big. And tomorrow I'm going to show you some that I got from Janet over here that in a package. I'm gonna be all set up here.
Thanks, Liz. You just gave me an idea.
Oh, there you go.
Vinyl would make a great mouse pad.
Oh, let's see. The napkin trim is gorgeous, Kelly says. So if you guys have any questions for Joanne, pop them in real quick. And she said she'd come back later anyways, but please list all the links below the video. All right, Ann, I'll be on it. I'll do that after the video. And I'll also do it on YouTube too, so you guys can get that. Good explanation. Oh, Chris says she has that foot and never used it. Well, you know, what's interesting is a lot of people, I don't even think, a lot of times our machines come with so many things that we absolutely, I could think of for 10 years, all I did was straight stitch. Forward, backwards, maybe a buttonhole here and there, but that's all I did. I didn't need all the creative stitches. But then once you start learning what the different feet do, they can make your sewing actually better, better straight stitching, better quality, and things like that. And once you start, you'll start to have a few favorites too. But the Muvit foot, I've talked to a lot of people that said, I didn't even realize what it did. I didn't realize you could change the settings in the screen. You could just look on your manual, right on the machine, or pull out your manual if you have one of the older machines, and it'll walk you right through it in just a couple pages. But Joanne did a great job explaining, so you at least got the whole general. Plug it in and turn it on. All you have to do is unscrew the side and screw this in. That's it. Yeah. And then plug it in.
Remember to plug it in. I made that mistake once, and I was like sitting there trying to figure out, why won't this work? It always works great. And I had forgotten to plug it in. So
Audrey, great. Audrey said she just found us. She loves it. Everybody, Lynn's talking about, I never knew about self-lining. Good one. I love your vest. Do you have a pattern? Oh, Gertrude. Are you wearing a vest, Joanne, or is this mine?
No, it's got to be you. It's got to be you.
This is a pattern hack from my Evelyn. So this is, Joanne, do you like working with Sherpa?
You know, I haven't done that much with it. I like wearing it, though.
I do, too, but it's really warm. So this one's just a vest. So this is my Evelyn jacket, and then I added just a rectangular collar. I'll bring this on my live show tomorrow to show you guys up in detail. But I absolutely love Sherpa. The only negative is it's really warm. So last weekend I wore my Sherpa jacket fishing, my pink one, just because I could wear that with a tank top and it's 20 degrees outside and I'm super warm. So today this is a vest and I'm not dripping sweat, so we're good. But I could go out and shovel snow if I needed to.
It's cute.
Okay, so Chris says this show is helping introduce and pique your interest in a lot of different things. Kathy says, I love your shawl. You guys are great, by the way. Gertrude, I saw you on here, and then there was a few questions. Let's see, what's this one? Pat wants to know which machine is used, which machine does this foot work with? Well,
there's a whole list, actually.
Yeah.
Could I post that so that you could share it on your Facebook page?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that later.
Okay. So the Brother Muvit foot, you guys, it goes on quite a few different machines. You've seen me use it on the Dream Machine. You've seen Joanne use it on the Dream Machine many, many, many times.
It basically works for what we call the V-Series machines, but there's also some special packages Now with the new 2019 line that Brother introduced for this fall, there's some new machines with some really great packages that include that foot and some additional accessories. So, like we always like to say, ask your dealer, because your dealer, they can not only answer the question, they can show it to you too. So if you can get to your local dealer, that's a good place to start.
Right. And there are quite a few machines that you can use this on, or that it works with. Carrie says she has a plug-in buttonhole foot and forgot to plug it in, had the same problem. That's hilarious. Oh, thanks, Robin. Robin's posting some of the machines that this works for. Donna, you're in New Jersey. I hope you don't live in New Jersey, so you must be having a good vacation, I think. It's really good when I know where, like, I pretty much can guess where 50% of the audience lives, because I ask them to say that every time on the first when the show starts. If any of you move, you're really going to screw me up, right? All right, Joanne, I'm going to bring your blog up here one more time. I so appreciate everyone has just enjoyed you being on the show. You've given so many good tips. Do you have anything else you want me to bring up here that I want to make sure I'm not missing anything? Because we had a whole pile of stuff to chat about. I have your website up here that they can go to. Do you want to tell them how to sign up besides on here, for your blog that you do? It comes out every Sunday, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, let me just say this has been a blast. I always love being with you, Angela. I love talking about Brother machines and Brother accessories and all the great stuff we have. But any day spent with sewing friends is a great day. So this has really made my day. Just go to letsgosew.com and you'll find everything there. You'll find a link right on the homepage if you want to join my email list. Lots of good information, lots of tips and resources, and I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me that way as well. So
I'm going to bring this up. This is the cover of her book. Love it. You picked such great colors, by the way.
Well, that was a challenge, but when you do photography, there's a lot of things look better on camera, so you got to pick some colors that have good contrast. So. But I've enjoyed wearing those wraps, and I'm making actually a whole new batch of them now in some different colors. So,
oh, I love that. Here's some of the more embroidery things that you sent over that are in your book, just to show. Are these the designs on the CD collection?
Those are all the multi-format designs on the CD collection. They're designed to coordinate, like I said, with the fabrics, but it doesn't mean you can't use them on a wide variety of other fabrics. And they're really classic designs. They're just, you can find embroidery designs everywhere today, obviously. And, we live in a world full of flowers and cute things, and there's a time and a place for that. But I wanted to create a collection that was, had kind of a classy look and would dress things up, but not necessarily, be too like shout. You know what I mean? They just kind of would just kind of accent the fabric a little bit. So.
Robin says she sees a class for her customers.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Definitely.
Carrie says, thank you. Carrie wants to know if you're going to be in Baton Rouge in May.
I don't know. I haven't been asked yet, but.
Ditto on that one, if you were asking either one. There was just a good question that came up here, which I wanted to address. Someone asked, and I lost their question here, but here you go. Marianne wants to know, do the snap-on feet, just the general snap-on feet that come with your machine, will that work on this Muvit foot?
No, the Muvit foot has its own family of special feet that attach to that.
Right, and I'm bringing up, here's a couple feet right here. This one I missed. So you have 3 that you're showing here, and I didn't bring this up earlier. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. I'm all about options, and I realize, not everybody has a top of the line in the machine. We all start somewhere, but every Brother machine has a lot of accessory options. So when I did the couching on the suede, I happened to use the Dream machine, and I used the couching accessory with the Muvit foot. But if you take a look at that picture, you're going to see a braiding foot. You saw me use it for ribbon, so it'll work for yarn as well. And then also a purl and piping foot. So what all of those feet have in common is the ability for the yarn or the cord to ride through a channel and basically stay in place while you're stitching over it. So that was just an example showing that you really could use that same technique for any of those feet. So you can find a foot that works with your particular brother machine. And then the little dental floss hole, there was just a reminder that it can be hard to feed that cord through the foot, especially if the foot has a slot or a hole. So if you feed your cord through the dental floss threader and then poke it through the foot, it makes it really, really easy. And then I'll give you one more really big tip. Feed your cord in before you put the foot on. So, you know, once you've got that foot on the machine and you're dealing with, you know, the level, you got your needle in there and all that, it's a little harder to get access to it. So feed the cord first and leave a tail, always leave a tail behind, and then snap your foot on and you're ready to stitch.
Okay, first off, 2 of the best tips ever. That dental floss for threading is brilliant. I never even thought about that.
Well, the couching attachment actually came with a really great little wire that you could use for it.
I have that, yeah.
Like I lost mine in about 2 days.
Well, that's 2 days longer than I lost mine. Yeah. I lost mine in about 5 seconds, and then I kept trying to find it. Then I taped it to the side of the machine. Dental floss would have made my life so much easier.
Well, because they're you know, they come in a whole package, so if you lose one, it doesn't matter. You throw it away. So.
Oh, I love that. And also what you said about threading before you put the foot on. That is the one thing, because I use the fabric dream frame quite often for couching. I absolutely love it. I use that for couching, thread painting, all of that. But the couching, sometimes it is so difficult to get that yarn in there when the foot's on there. No brainer. Thread it first and then put the foot on. Whew.
Well, and if you're anything like me, you know, my fingers don't work the same way every day, you know, and some of it, we lose that little bit of that nimbleness to our fingers. So anytime you have a tool that can help you, it just makes it easier. So
I agree. All right, so you got Michelle saying hi. Everyone's saying thanks to Joanne. You guys give her the big heart emoji on this because those were some fabulous tips. You two could talk all day with such good information. Thank you, Linda. That's so sweet. Well, you should hang out when it's Joanne and Cindy and I. We never stop, do we?
Yeah, we have a good time.
We do. All right, so I just see, let's see, I saw Joe pop in here. Hey, Joe, great to see you. Tomorrow we're going to be on live with Joe. Donna's saying hi. She came in late and she may be asking a question that was already addressed, but is the MuvVit foot like a walking foot? No, it is not. Donna, you did come in late, but as soon as we're finished here, you can replay. And Joanne gave a really good description on why it's not the same. Not even close, wouldn't you say?
No, not close. They might be, you know, kind of kissing cousins in some things, but they really both operate really differently. And there's a little bit of overlap, but they all have their own purpose. So
that's fantastic. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for your time today. Loved having you on. Everyone loves having you on in person versus the phone. But what do you? So you let's see. On the blog, you have your design for the month. Your next one will be coming out in January. Do you have anything we should be keeping an eye out for before the holidays?
Yep, actually there'll be 3 more that will be posted on the Brother blog this month because I do a total of 4. So you saw the free design of the month. Foot of the month will be coming up probably in a week or so. And then I always provide a quick tip. So quick tip this month will be for something sparkly. I'll give you a little hint on that. And
I love
then
sparkly.
There'll be one more additional garment project that will be posted this month. So still lots of good stuff for December. You know what's great about December? I mean, a lot of people are busy with the holidays and a lot of different things, but you know, sometimes people have maybe a little extra vacation or a little bit more downtime. So I encourage everybody, like, you know, feed everybody dessert and then sneak off into your sewing room and spend some me time with your sewing machine and have some fun making something either for yourself or something you're going to use for a gift down the road.
That's a great idea. Valerie says she's now new goal. She's going to go get your book out and have some holiday practice. That's excellent. Well, don't worry, guys. Joanne will definitely be back on the show. The Sewing News Live is a new show that launched this year, showing you features, explaining things about Brother machines that you might not have realized. We have Brother as a sponsor. Joanne and I are both brand ambassadors, so you'll see both of us quite often. And don't forget to visit your Brother dealer over the holidays because, by the way, I have a list of sales right here. cheaters on this one because it's like really tiny writing. So in case you missed this before, right now, there is still sales on the BQ1350, the BQ950, the NQ1300, the NQ1600. Do you want me to keep going, guys? There's a whole list of machines here. The NQ3600D, 700, NQ700 PRW, and the NQ900 PRW. Those are just some of the sales. There's an accessory sale right now, 15% off that goes all the way to the end of the year. Visit your brother dealer for that. Embroidery.com, that coupon is still there, 25% off at Embroidery. So you can go get Joanne's free design and then go pick up a few more for 25% off. That does not expire until the end of the year. And I believe, yep, the scan and cut, the roller feed, and vinyl bundle still has a rebate of $50 off. Have you tried that yet, Joanne?
I have not. I'm looking forward to doing that.
It's on my list for the holidays to dabble.
I want to make decals for my sewing room.
That would be fantastic.
Across the wall, yeah.
I want to make a new sign for out front at my office. This is Angela Wolf, all with the vinyl because it's super long. So there's more coupons, you guys. There's the Dream Carousel cabinet is now $1,000 off. This is only until, what's the date today?
4.
Sorry, guys, that one ended.
The 4th.
Sorry, it ended on the 2nd. So, but new things coming on the 6th. I can give you a little hint if you'd like.
Ooh.
Maybe go visit your brother dealer because there is some pretty amazing 72-month financing. That's all I can share. But it's only from 12/6 to 12/8. So at least I'm ahead of the game on that one.
Wow.
All right. Do you have any tips for everybody before we leave, Joanne? Other than all the fabulous ones you already gave.
Have fun and enjoy every stitch. And I'd just like to say thank you, Angela, and thank you to Brother for sponsoring this show.
Thanks, everyone. Joanne, it was great to see you. And everyone, have a wonderful day. I will be on live tomorrow. And tomorrow will be a live show featuring Joe for a special holiday special. And he has something planned for us that I don't know. It's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you on there. Hopefully, Joanne can pop in and say hi to everyone as well. But thanks for joining, guys. Have a great day. If I don't see you until next week or until the holidays, happy holidays. Take care. Thanks so much.